Today we're discussing a lens that I've wanted to test out for a very, very long time. I finally got my hands on it. It's the Thypoch Eureka 50mm collapsible. Let's check it out, dude. Disclaimers right off the top, I wasn't sent this by Thypoch because they wanted me to review it. I requested to test it out because I have been thinking about buying this lens for a very long time, and I really wanted to just try it out before I could actually shoot it, and the only way to do that really is to make a video. So here's that video. All right, if you've been following this channel for a really long time, you'll know that the Leica 50mm Summicron dual range is probably my favorite lens of all time. And like a dumbass, I sold it. I haven't really found a copy online that sings to me right now, and it's just probably not the right time to be buying the dual range. And so in the interim of just kind of waiting for something like a dual range to pop up, I've been looking at alternatives because I really miss having a 50mm focal length. I have pretty much been shooting exclusively my 28mm Elmerit. It's one of my favorite lenses also, but I really do miss having a 50mm focal length. I don't know, I've just always kind of shot 50, and I've particularly as of late have been finding myself really enjoying 50mm. I really wanted to get one for my Leica MP, and so in comes the Thypoch Eureka 50mm f2. I wanted to test this lens out, and so right off the bat, yes, Thypoch sent it to me, but I begged them. Okay, they did not send it to me because they wanted me to make a review. I've been asking for a while, and once it launched, etc., once the hype died down, they had a few loaner copies available, and so I was lucky enough to test one out. And so I've been shooting with this for the last, I don't know, few weeks, but within that, my kids have been sick, and so I would say I shot about 3 to 4 rolls of film using the Thypoch Eureka, and I just kind of thought it would be interesting to share my thoughts, some good, some bad. So the first thing that I actually really love about this lens is its design. I think it's a really nice looking lens. It looks so sick on my Leica MP. I'll get into some of the ergonomics and design stuff in a second here, but just right off the top, I just wanted to say it's a really nice looking lens. I think it looks super sick. It's just nice having an f2 lens that is this small. That's kind of what I really love about the Summicron, the dual range. It's heavy, but it's small, and I just like having a small profile. You know, most of my other cameras are huge. When I just go out and I want to shoot some 35mm film, I really like having just a small, tiny camera, and I think for me that's the biggest value of the Leica M system, is just how small it is. In contrast, you know, my Nikon F2, it's a big heavy kit. It's probably twice as heavy as my Leica MP. You know, the 50mm lens is a bit chunky. It's nothing terrible, but it's just the real value in the Leica M system is really just having a small, tiny profile. And so I've always kind of steered towards smaller lenses rather than faster lenses. I shot the Leica Summilux for a long time, and to be honest, I feel like that lens is a cheat code. It's such an amazing lens. It's one of my favorite lenses of all time, but for my use case, it's just a little too chunky for me. It's a little too heavy. It just kind of throws the balance of this. It is nowhere near like this nice, you know, when it's just a tiny little lens. It passes the balance test. It's so much better to shoot a Leica camera with small lenses. For me, it's worth sacrificing the extra stop of light. Having a Summilux is nice, and it is nice sometimes for the indoor situations, but I find that I just like direct flash, and I'll just shoot direct flash if I don't have enough light. F2.8 is enough for me, and this is an F2, so F2 is definitely enough for me. You can still get some really nice bokeh out of this lens. You can see tons of other videos where, you know, they really test out the bokeh, but to me, that's not really what's important in this lens, and that's not the reason why I would buy this lens. The reason that I would buy this lens is just because, as I was saying, the design is so nice. It's such a small profile. I love the collapsible design, and it's just so nice to have such a small kit. And yeah, I really like it so far. As far as the ergonomics, I do have some issues with it, and they weren't issues at first, but the more I shot with it, the more I realized that, like, man, you know, I love this lens, but I'm just not sure I can get past these deal breakers. But honestly, the main issue is that this collapsible design doesn't lock in properly, and it could be this copy. So I'll just demonstrate it really quickly. Here it is collapsed. When I pop it out, you're supposed to turn it to lock it in, right? And so right now I'm at f2. When I go all the way to f16, which I do shoot at a lot, it starts to collapse on me, which is like not good, you know? If I have it against my eye and I'm going to like f16, I just keep going for days, and then it's just, you know, and then it starts to collapse. It is so annoying, and I found myself like not being able to get past it. Even though I knew of the issue pretty much from the first day that I got it. I hadn't even considered it would be an issue, but it was such a pain in the ass. And honestly, if that one problem was solved, then I would probably purchase this lens immediately, because everything else about the lens I loved. Some people hate on the infinity lock. I don't really hate on it at all. I find it a fine design. I'd probably prefer a focus tab, but with this lens, you know, it's kind of an homage to earlier lenses like the Elmar, etc. I've never tried the Elmar, but I can't imagine Leica would have not thought of that and would have not found that to be an issue. If I'm wrong, I will say I'm wrong right here, but that one for me is just a deal breaker, and it makes me not really even able to recommend it, because it's just such a frustrating shooting experience. And I know that lots of people shoot differently. I know that there's probably people who just keep their settings the same for a day out in the field, and they just shoot at just one setting, but I'm not like that. I'm constantly changing my aperture. I'm constantly changing my shutter speed. I re-meter, sometimes I don't meter. I just can't get past having to think about collapsing my lens. Thypoch, you have to fix that. I think it's a huge problem. And I know that, like, you know, I shouldn't be expecting Leica quality or anything with a Thypoch lens, but I do think that this is a problem. This is the only modern lens right now for the Leica M system that piques my interest, is this lens. It does have some of the same design choices as the other Thypoch Samara lenses, particularly with the higher stops being closer together. When you go from f2 to f2.8, you know, there's like a 1/4 inch gap, but then when you go from f11 to f16, there's like 2 millimeters of a gap. I don't really like that. I'm sure there's a reason they did that, but I would almost prefer it the other way around. Like, I would rather have a small 2 millimeter gap between f2 and f2.8, because I honestly don't use f2 and f2.8 as much. I'm probably unique that way. I don't know. I like shooting wide open, but I just don't do it that much. Let's talk image quality and rendering. I think that's where the real value is with this lens. It is incredible. It is a very, very sharp lens. It has good character, but also like a modern sort of vintage feel. You know, it feels modern, but it has vintage characteristics. It's kind of perfect as far as image quality goes. And that's exactly how I felt about the Samara, the 28mm Samara that I reviewed. I really love, you know, the way that the lens renders an image. It's just the design choices that I found difficult to get past. It just wasn't, I was used to shooting Leica and Voigtlander lenses, and to me, the design and the quality of those lenses just felt better. And as they should, you know, they're typically more expensive lenses anyways. So, but as far as image quality goes, there is absolutely nothing to be disappointed with when it comes to the Eureka. It's a lens that I would love to have and own, and I would own it if it wasn't for that one small thing. It's literally the only thing. I think it's something that you need to be aware of if you're thinking about buying this lens, is like, can you get past the not locking system? In a world where Thypoch addresses it and tells me that it's fixed, I'll be buying this lens immediately, because it's exactly what I'm looking for. If I'm not going to buy a Leica 50mm, I'm going to buy this lens. It has great, fantastic image quality, but it just lacks the usability that I need. I don't want to faff about every single time I use this lens. I want to pick it up and like feel like it's just a part of the lens and the shooting experience. The way that when I pick this camera up with my Elmert, it's exactly that. It's an extension of my hand at this point. I don't have to think about it. I pick it up and I'm like firing immediately. With this, I'm not. I'm very like slow. I'm missing things, and it's all because I just don't trust it. I just don't trust that I'm not collapsing. I think it has cool character, just like the other Samara lineup, and I would really love to be like a Thypoch guy, because I would want to recommend them over the Leicas and the Voigtlanders, because, you know, you see more people now shooting the Leica M system, and I think it's made possible by companies like Thypoch, or Thypoch, whatever, or Voigtlander, because otherwise, you know, if you want to buy an MP with a Leica lens, you're looking at like 10 grand, and that's crazy, especially for a 35mm film camera. It's pretty crazy. This allows people to, you know, save up forever to buy the body and then slowly be able to build a little kit with these Thypoch lenses. And I would love to be able to recommend them, but like there's things about them that just don't jive that well with me. This one, it's the collapsible design. I love the collapsible design. I just don't like how it doesn't lock. And then with the Samara lineup, I just didn't love the design. Felt a little big and sort of chunky, and the gunmetal design looked a little, I don't know, off to me. To be clear, it's the same metal on this lens as it is on the silver Samara lenses, but for some reason in this small form factor, this just feels and looks better. By the way, this is the aluminum version. This is the cheapest version of this lens. You can also get a brass version. I might get the brass version if I buy this lens. I don't know if I'm gonna buy this yet. I haven't decided. Who knows? Maybe by the time I publish this video, I find out that this is just this copy's problem. But even so, I'm like on the fence. I used to have just the crispiest dual range, and I don't know what came over me to sell that for the Summilux, but I've regretted it ever since. Even though the Summilux is a cheat code and it's technically a better lens, the Summicron dual range made me feel something that no lens to this day has made me feel, and I just miss it, and I wish that I never would have sold it. If you know, if you have any scoops on some dual ranges, please let me know. Otherwise, if you don't think that's going to bug you that much, if you're used to it, if you set it and forget it, it's an amazing lens. The image quality is fantastic. I'm really happy that companies like Thypoch are developing these types of lenses to get people into the Leica M system. People love to make fun of us for shooting these expensive cameras, and I mean, I make fun of us too. There is something about these cameras that you don't understand until you have them in your hands, until you go out and shoot. Some people hate them even after that, and that's okay. I've been shooting them for 5+ years now, and it's just my favorite way to make a photo. And so I'm in the market for a 50mm lens. Not super interested in any of the Voigtlander stuff. I've seen them all. I used to have the Voigtlander Apo 50mm, and I found that just to be such a boring lens. It was big. I didn't love the design. Granted, I didn't really give it a super well shake. I just saw the first couple rolls. I wasn't wowed by a single image, and so I just never really looked into it again. Anyways, thank you Thypoch for letting me use this lens. They were very patient with me as my kids got sick and stuff. If you have this lens, please let me know in the comments if you've experienced this issue with your lens, and how you've got around it, or if it's just this copy. I would love to know. And if you have any other suggestions of lenses similar to this one or the Leica dual range, because I really am in the market for a 50mm. I've literally been looking for like the last 6 months, and I'm patient when it comes to Leica stuff, because when I've been patient, it's always paid off. Yeah, I'm just in the market right now for a 50mm, a small 50mm might I add, and I'm just being patient. So if you have any other suggestions, pop them down in the comments, and yeah. All right, sorry to interrupt. I just finished editing the video, and I had to just come on here and confess that I bought the Thypoch Eureka lens. I mean, it's Black Friday, and they have a savage deal going on for the Thypoch Eureka, for the Samara lenses, for the Samara C lenses, which I'll be honest, I think I might be purchasing. But yeah, after going through this, after editing the video, after seeing the photos, I really just like the lens. I love the size, I love the character of the lens. I think the image quality is like perfect for what I'm looking for. It's not a Leica dual range, but for the value, for the price, it's pretty much an unbeatable deal. And so yeah, I bought it for Black Friday. I have an affiliate link in the bio if you're interested. But I actually think this lens is like not that much money, especially for Black Friday. And for what you get, I think it is worth it. So I'm actually going to be a little bit of a hypocrite. And I probably have even said in this video that I don't know if I can recommend it. But that was before I sort of really looked at the image quality. At the time that I recorded this video, I had developed 2 rolls of film, and I was waiting to purchase some color chemistry for the 2 additional rolls of color. And once I developed them, once I scanned them, I just kind of like this lens. I think it's like kind of perfect for what I need. It's not too much money. I'm back to recommending it, baby. Affiliate links in the bio. Okay, I just wanted to hop on here. And get that out of the way. Spoiler alert, I bought it. At this point, I'm just rambling. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate anyone who takes the time to engage with this channel in a positive way. Even the negative people, I appreciate you all. And thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one. Oh, sorry.